tuned into Quick Charge, the high voltage podcast bringing you the top stories in electric vehicles and sustainable energy daily. And it's all powered by Electrek. Welcome to Quick Charge. It's July 8th, 2025, and I'm your host, Joe Boris. It's been a tough couple of days for Tesla fans as the brand seems to be facing the first signs of real trouble for a while. Tesla sales have declined in China despite a Model Y refresh and record discounts. Tesla sales declined quarter over quarter in China despite the Model Y refresh being available and offering record-setting discounts on the new vehicles. It goes directly against what the automaker claimed after Q1. After Tesla's poor delivery performance in Q1, the company blamed the Model Y design changeover for limiting production and availability of its best-selling vehicles overseas. The company reported a 13% drop in deliveries compared to Q1 of 2025. But despite ramping up production of the Model Y to normal levels in Q2, the company experienced an even steeper delivery performance decline, with deliveries down over 13.5% last quarter. Tesla is notoriously the most opaque automaker in the world when it comes to breaking down sales per model and market, making it hard to track the health of its vehicle programs across markets. However, registration data provides a much clearer picture, and this picture contradicts Tesla's claims. In Q2, all variants of the new Model Y were available in China, the world's largest automotive market, and Tesla delivered fewer vehicles than it did in the first quarter. The China Passenger Car Association released the data today, confirming that Tesla delivered 128,803 vehicles in China during Q2. That's down 4.3% compared to the first quarter, and year over year, the decline is even bigger at 11.7% compared to 2024. The quarter over quarter decline occurred despite broader availability of the new Model Y. Additionally, Tesla was offering record discounts on both Model 3 and Model Y in China, with 0% financing equivalent to up to $4,000 discount per car. So obviously sales are bad, but hey, this is a tech company. This is not just an automotive company, as they like to tell us. Well, tech stuff looks bad too, guys. Tesla is being forced to reimburse full self-driving in arbitration after failing to deliver on the promises of the product. A Tesla owner in Washington managed to get the automaker to reimburse the full self-driving package, but it wasn't easy. The 2021 Model Y was Mark Dobin and his wife's third Tesla. Due to his wife's declining mobility, Dobin was intrigued by the FSD package as a way to give her more independence. He wrote in a blog post, "FSD was more than hype for us. The promise of a car that could drive my wife around gave us hope that she'd maintain independence as her motor skills declined. We paid $10,000 for full self-driving." Now, this is a really important thing to talk about, right? Because full self-driving, even though it's hyped up and there's a lot of tech bros and like weird lawyers and libertarian guys driving around in these things talking about how great they are, this is a game changer for single parents, for people with aging parents, for people with mobility issues, people with who have seizures, who have narcolepsy. There's a whole entire subset of the population for which full self-driving, if it worked, would be a game changer. But as Dobin found out, it doesn't work. Tesla's FSD quickly disillusioned Dobin. First, he couldn't even enable it due to Tesla restricting the beta access through a safety scoring system, something he pointed out was never mentioned in the original contract. Furthermore, the feature required the supervision of a driver at all times, which is not what Tesla sold to customers. In fact, Elon Musk once said that customers could sleep at night and have their Tesla pay for itself as a robotaxi at night. So yeah, definitely not what was promised. Objectively, not what was promised. Tesla didn't make it easy for customers in the US to seek a refund or to sue Tesla, as it forces buyers to go through arbitration through its sales contract. That didn't deter Dobin, who happens to be an attorney with years of experience in arbitration. It took about a year, but Tesla and Dobin found themselves in arbitration, and it didn't go well for the automaker. About a year after filing, the evidentiary hearing was held via Zoom. Tesla produced one witness, a field technical specialist, who admitted he hadn't checked what equipment shipped with our car, hadn't reviewed our driving logs, and didn't know any details about the FSD system installed on our car. He hadn't spoken to any sales rep we dealt with or reviewed the contract's integration clause. Despite both a Tesla lawyer and outside counsel representing Tesla being at the hearing, the witness was not equipped to answer questions. Dobin wrote, he was a service technician, not a lawyer or salesperson. But that's who Tesla brought to the hearing. In the end, I felt bad for him because Tesla set him up to be a human punching bag, someone unprepared to answer key questions, forced to defend a system he clearly didn't understand. While I was examining him, a Tesla in-house lawyer sat silently while the company's outside counsel tried to soften the blows of the witness's testimony. He focused on Tesla's lack of disclosure regarding the safety score and the fact that the system does not meet promises made to customers. The arbitrator sided with Dobin and wrote, the evidence is persuasive that the feature was not functional, operational, or otherwise available. That is super brutal. And hey, if you're an attorney reading this and you're looking for a class action thing, this might be a pretty good precedent, despite the fact that it didn't happen in a courtroom and it was only arbitration. Obviously, arbitration only applies case by case, party by party, situation by situation. But man, imagine if Tesla is forced to reimburse everyone who bought a $10,000 or a $15,000 or an $8,000 full self-driving package because it did not meet the claims. That is big, big news and could be bad. And frankly, it's already getting bad. France has found that Tesla lied about full self-driving and more and has 4 months to comply or be fined. The French Ministry of the Economy has found that Tesla violated its laws in several ways related to deceptive business practices and has ordered the company to comply in 4 months or face a fine for every day that it does not. This is an article from about a week and a half ago by Jamie Dow. Great stuff. We're going to have a link to it over at the show notes at electrek.co. Be sure to check it out because, yeah, that has potentially big implications for a company that is already under fire. Now, if you are interested in full self-driving, if you've seen what it does and you believe that that level 2 ADAS scenario with the supervisor in the driver's seat is cool with you, you are in luck because now, in order to move the slow-selling Cybertruck, if you buy full self-driving, Tesla will give you 0% financing for up to 60 months, which is really, really exciting and can amount up to like a $7,000 or $8,000 discount depending on your credit score and your term that you're financing. Now, we've done this month's list of 0% interest EV deals a little differently than before. We just gave you the list. We didn't go through this whole rigmarole of doing the pictures and the articles. It get a little repetitive after 16 of these things, but you can get to the deals right away, see where you're at. I'm highlighting here the Chevy Bright Drop, which also has up to $30,000 cash back if you're a Costco member. Click on that link. Be sure to check that out. Now, I did separate out 2 specific offers. One of them is the most significant new 0% offer. That's got to be the Cybertruck. This was a vehicle that 3-4 years ago was in huge demand. Seemed like 2 million people wanted when people were auctioning off their spot in line for $50, $60, $100,000. It was wild. And now, hey, they can't move them. They're doing 0% financing. This is very, very significant. And if you're one of the people that does want these Cybertrucks, man, there's a lot of truck there. They're fast. They're powerful. They do the thing that they say they do. They don't really tow that well, but you're not buying one of these things to tow anyway. You're making a statement. And now you can make that statement without paying any interest. So that's kind of fun. Now, for me, this is an honorable mention type thing. This is a new thing that I'm trying this month. This is not quite a 0% financing deal, but still a solid deal. 1.99% on the new Volvo EX90. In addition, you get $1,000 in summer safety bonus cash. Now, obviously, the EX90 has had some recalls, but hey, all these vehicles, especially new models, tend to have recalls in their first years, and they're making good on it. I've been driving one of these things around for the last couple of days. It's pretty slick. I'm really enjoying it. I haven't had any issues with mine, but hey, my Twitter handle's Volvo Joe. There's guys who are Ford guys who are Chevy guys, and they're going to tell you great stuff about the brand they like. Next month, we'll try a different brand. We'll see if, maybe there's a 0.99% ID buzz type of deal. Let me know what you think about this format and whether or not you think it's worth continuing with, and I'll pay attention to you. Everybody knows I like to read the comments and I like to engage and interact with people there, not only on YouTube, but again, over at electrek.co, where we have links to all this great stuff. Now, finally, we like to end these shows talking about sustainability, talking about the environment, talking about the grid. And the latest FERC report says that solar and wind made up 96% of new U.S. power generating capacity in the first third of 2025. That's according to data belatedly posted on July 1st by the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission and reviewed by the Sunday Campaign. Between January and April 2025, new wind provided 2,183 megawatts of capacity additions, accounting for 18% of new additions in the first third. In the same period, the combination of solar and wind was 95.7% of new capacity, while natural gas provided just 4.2. The remaining 0.1% came from oil. That's right. If you're over in Hawaii, you're in Alaska, some of these remote areas, people are just burning diesel generators and making power. Solar and wind are more than 22% of U.S. utility grade scale generative capacity as of now. The installed capacities of solar and wind are now each more than a tenth of the U.S. total. Together, they make up almost a quarter of the total available installed utility scale generative capacity. Moreover, at least 25 to 30% of solar capacity is in small scale rooftop systems that are not reflected in FERC's data. Including that additional solar capacity would bring the share provided by solar and wind to well over a quarter of the U.S. total. So everybody out there talking about, sustainability doesn't work. We need to have more oil. We need more nuclear. We need more coal. We are using more power, more electricity than ever, folks, and we're just using more and more and more. And solar and wind are keeping pace. They're actually out accelerating everything else. We are using batteries in an intelligent way to manage those loads for nighttime, for when the sun isn't shining or the wind isn't blowing. This absolutely works. There is no question. And just politically, you got to get on board and support this stuff because this is American jobs. This is the American economy. And we want to see it growing and continue to grow. That's all I've got for today, July 8th. Be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss more. And